Alright, I'm on Notability for this real quick. So, here's my idea for a Nerf gun. I'm going to go through the process with you. So, we have my first idea. Let's get a Nerf gun. It's going to be based on the Heckler & Koch G11. I thought K1 or K2 because I read the Wikipedia article and yeah, sure. I think the Boxy one, the K2, is a lot funnier, so yeah, no K1. And here's the idea. Originally, I wanted, hey, since we're going to do a fancy loading mechanism, I think a tilted magazine would work better. Plus, I kind of already bought two of the tilted magazines for a different Nerf gun project, but it's kind of ugly. So I was thinking, yeah, let's rotate it 90 degrees, and you see this guy's facing outwards this way. And I said, nah, that's not going to work because the dart's facing up. This is before I even thought about the firing mechanism. I was just thinking, how do I rotate the bullet? So here we have, let's see if we can push it through a channel, some sort of channel, and then push that into some sort of flywheel. And now this may work. There's a lot of friction though as it passes through, which is a little unfortunate. What else? We got, yeah, a rotating breech. This is the original G11 idea, and prior to this, I had no idea how gears worked because I never really messed with those guys. Little weird. Yeah, here's the channel idea. Again, there's a lot of friction involved. Plus, the pusher is probably going to be like a rubber noodle or something, so that it can actually wrap around the corner, like, fill in this bit. Yeah. Here's what it looks like, the K2 from Wikipedia. And here's another idea, actually, I had. Let's say we had, like, a rotating wheel thing. I remember, now that I look back on it, there was a different idea. I think it was called the, no, it was totally a water wheel idea. So, I think, it was the P90. Yes, the P90. Uh, the the magazine would load forwards. The dart would be here. It'd point down, and then there would be a water wheel that pushes it out. So you'd have like a wheel here, and then a little sticker arm here, and a little sticker arm there, and it would rotate outwards and push this dart to face forwards. Push it into the. I think the dart was facing this way, and then the flywheel would push that outwards because it would go into it based on thanks to the water wheel pushing it outwards. Something like that, yeah. Man, there's a lot of controversy around it too. I've heard about like some guy canceling the water wheel project from another guy who's making another similar idea. Unfortunate. Here's me just trying to think about, would this really work? Because the wheel would have to be really big if I want to wrap it around the magazine itself. Like I'd imagine if we had like the magazine here, and then the wheels like behind it, I'd say, like somewhere here. How's this little knob thing gonna go through the magazine on its trip around? It really can't, to push the dart, which is like here. Like it can't really do that. So that idea is scrapped. And yeah, only idea is the breach, which I'm glad I went with this idea. It's basically the exact same thing as what the original G11 does. It's awesome. And I thought about, okay, how am I gonna let's focus on this area real quick. How do we focus on the loading mechanism? So reg meaning like regular, I just notated it to say like, hey, this is what it's gonna be. Its regular position is. Step one, we push the pusher down, push the dart out of the magazine into the breech. Step two, we push up the pusher down and we rotate the breech. Now, if you notice, I highlighted the thing that goes up because that is independent of the rest of the mechanism. I can, push that guy. I can push the pusher down, back up, in any of these four steps or five steps, and it wouldn't really matter because as long as the breech has reset to be upwards, that's when this guy's needed to be up. Then we take the side pusher and we push the dart out. There's going to be like a flywheel. There's going to be two flywheels here, so get some launching action. Then we retract the pusher. Then we rotate the breech and reset the process. And of course, the thing about it, like the way I had to think about it, I had to take this freaking I had to take all these steps. I had like 8 originally, and I kept shrinking it down so that it would be more and more simple. And here's what I was thinking of with gearing. So for the down pusher, I would use like, rack and pinion. Uh, and I expand on the idea more. Hey, why don't we use two rack and pinions? And now this was a terrible idea to just have one gear because this guy's got to go in and this guy's got to go down, and this wheel can't push this way and this way at the same time to move both of them independently of each other. So yeah, I'll expand on that later. And we also got the Geneva gear. Geneva gears, those are awesome. And we got to have a two-step, and I eventually came out with the idea of a 2-to-1-to-1 gearing. So let's see. Here's some sketches of what I was thinking of. Let's have a slider for the rack. Let's have springs to push in and out, and allow it to retract back to its original position. And here's later stage thinking about, okay, how do I position the gears? This was the chosen concept anyways. We have this gear here is for the side pusher, and this is for the down pusher. I'll show you the design later, 3D model. Here's ideas about, oh yeah, this was an earlier idea. Why don't we have like compression versus tension springs? That's right. Oh, that was awful thinking about it. So I gave up and just thought, let's just use a bunch of compression strings. There's like more of those on eBay. I'll be able to find those better. But here, this is a tension spring. This guy, it allows me to I don't know why actually. I believe I saw another video online of some other guy making a G11. I haven't seen any progress. I haven't seen any updates from him yet, which is a little unfortunate. I saw him on Reddit. You can probably look it up on the Nerf subreddit. Here is some more ideas of how do I rotate? How do I rotate the breech? How do I rotate the gears and the rack and pinion to move them up and down? And I had to think about, okay, here's the orientations of all the gears denoted by the half circle and the dots. You see, I honestly, I can't really make any word. I don't understand any of this. Yeah, here's a better one. So we got, all the steps. We got breech is, arrow. This arrow representing like direction of the breech, direction of pusher wheel, direction of Geneva gear. So it would push the pinion down, then it would retract back up because of the compression spring or tension spring. And then here is the 2-to-1 gearing wheel, because this guy is spinning. This guy is spinning twice as fast as this one. That's because when this makes one full rotation, this one has to make two. One full rotation meaning if this guy rotates, one rotation of that will mean one push down of the top pusher. And I thought to myself, I don't know. There's so much thinking. No, it's awful. I don't know. I probably should have looked it up. And looking it up would probably work way better. Okay, and here's sketches. This is like late game. I already designed a 3D model online in Fusion 360. So I was like, yeah, whatever, it's good enough. Let me just design the body. So I just shamelessly just took a mirror of it, just so I can modify it a little bit, move it around. Here's the flywheel bump. That's the main idea. This guy, it's basically this, but like with a little notch here, because flywheels, they're a little bulbous, and honestly, I feel like I'd get arrested if I don't show the flywheel bump. It would just look like a regular gun, and I'm a fan of simplicity, so I like when things are looking sleek, and guns look pretty sleek. Only problem is that they're guns, and they're dangerous. You can mistake them, obviously. Blah blah blah. So here's the assembly process. I was thinking, hey, how am I gonna 3D print it? This is gonna be touching the printer bed. This is gonna be touching the printer bed, or maybe this side. Yeah, they're both flat, so the stock doesn't matter. But this is totally, this side's gonna have to touch the printer bed, because if you notice, these guys are recessed. They're sleeves. They fit inside. The main body is like a little area here just for this guy. Yeah, and then here's where the little mechanism is gonna be. Here's where the battery is gonna be. Just thinking about, hey, where's everything gonna be positioned? And then firing mechanism all down here. That's why the trigger is its own separate module. I didn't draw it though. Yeah, just more drawings. Here's the magazine release. When the magazine is inserted, there's this little spring here that it helps to push the magazine button back up. You'll notice that I placed it in a different spot on the 3D model just because I had to fit stuff in. Yeah, obviously the magazine has a little notch. I believe like every single Nerf gun has that. Every Nerf magazine has that. Um, and it's just a button because the button on the original G11 is also at the top. You see that guy? Yeah, there you go. I don't. I was thinking about, hey, maybe I might use it, have a use for that. That little this rotating lever thing. It helps to eject faulty like a jam or something. I'm not sure. I think so. Yeah. Only problem is that I'm not an engineer yet, so I'm gonna. I didn't really take the time to think. Yeah, whatever. I don't need to think about it. I don't feel like it. Whatever. So here's the 3D model of the firing mechanism itself. If you notice, not the firing mechanism, but how you fit it in. How I was thinking was originally, hey, let's have some slots here, denoted by the red, and the blue is the flywheel sides, so that they would like mesh in. If you can see what I'm trying to point out, like here and here, you slide it in, um, uh, horizontally. I guess that would work. Again, here's another idea, just general layout. It makes sense. You have the three slides for the magazine. You got the barrel. You got the flywheels, and you got the. This is supposed to be gears, just because I wanted to draw it and see what it looked like. And here's the little battery in the back. It's not really that small. I never noticed how large they are compared to the others. Here's the. I'm not sure why I had to draw this. It's the Picatinny rail. Yeah, it works. And then we got thumb screws. Now I'll be honest, I should have researched how scope fits in Picatinny, but I thought like, hey, if there's gonna be like a gap here between each bump, why don't I just have a screw that like threads its way in here and then it stops there. That would work, yeah. And obviously you're gonna have to unscrew it the entire way to be able to take it out, but I don't think I'm gonna be taking out the scope anytime soon. Maybe to replace it with a real one. I was thinking like, hey, why don't I buy like a real scope tube to make it a real scope? And then I thought to myself, my friend actually brought this up. Nate told me, hey, why don't you just make it so this is made of TPU, which is a flexible 3D printer filament. And that's genius. Yeah, I would really love it if I could smush my eyeball against this thing, and like be able to see through the scope tube, and have a working scope, because that's how scopes work. Thanks, Josh, for telling me that. You're welcome. And that's it. That's seems to be all the doodles I've made on this notability page. And then we will hop over into the 3D model.